Hey y'all, welcome to Reflecting Divinity. I am really excited to be back recording videos. It's been a really long time. I had some of my own medical things going on and as well in my family. So I took some time off just to focus on that. But everything's okay now and I am just happy to be back on YouTube. So that being said, today's video is going to be about surrendering to shift, surrendering to spring forward. And the energy that's coming through is, for one, in alignment with our current season, as some of us are well on our way into spring and some of us it's probably just beginning. And Spirit is bringing through that there needs to be a lightening up, a surrender to keep up with the shifting and the growth that's happening on so many levels. And we are being called to really clean house so that we can move forward in a way that is more in alignment with what we are being called to do. But it will also be easier, less chaotic. So that's the kind of theme of the message that wants to come through. And I have pulled some Oracle of the Unicorns cards for you to tap into. So for pile 1, you have a piece of raw amethyst. Pile 2, you have blue angelite. And pile 3, you have some yellow or orange calcite. And as I was putting the cards away after each card had fallen out for their pile, I had rebirth, reinvent yourself, give life to your dreams, create a new reality, fall out for all of us. And it really just kind of fits the energy that is coming through for all of us and how Spirit is helping us move forward. It feels like Spirit is calling us to release the density from our lives, whether that be in a physical way or a spiritual way or an energetic way, however that makes sense to you. Because it's like we are the sprout that's pushing through the soil, and the soil could be too packed for that journey to the surface. So if we are able to bring lightness to the soil around us so it's nourishing rather than suffocating, if that makes sense, that's what we're being called to do. And Spirit is here to help us identify what is ready to be shed. And it very much feels like how scales are shed when they no longer fit, or feathers are molted because they begin to create friction rather than flow. So we can find this in nature as well. So on that note, I will see you at your selected reading. Hi, pile 1, if you chose the amethyst, this is your reading. So I want to leave this for the final message, but we will go ahead and see what is coming through as what is the density that needs to be shed, what needs to be surrendered, maybe what is blocking you or has been a challenge for you so far, and what is now ready to be released. there comes a point where the blocks and challenges that we have encountered along our path are no longer helpful. We've learned what we need to from them, and we don't need to hang on to them anymore. That's where kind of that sense of spring cleaning is coming in, where we can shed what isn't serving us. Okay, so we have envious gluttony coming through. So there could be some energy, again, around hanging on to stuff that isn't serving you. Stuff that isn't serving you, but there's some sense of like fear of lack, of being without, of being not enough on your own accord, that you are looking to kind of find outside of yourself. It's the sense of consuming to try to fill a void that really is something that won't come from the outside. Like, this is something within yourself, your sense of worth, your sense of your own power. And I do feel like there's some self-love healing here that could be done. More emphasis, I guess, put on in your healing journey on your path. I feel like you are looking toward others outside of yourself to kind of compare yourself to, and it's not helping you, pile one. It's draining you, even though you're trying to fulfill that part of yourself. And so Spirit is calling you back to yourself, to feed your soul through your own wisdom, through your own intuition, through self-love. And that excess consumption of really anything, when it's in excess, it's again more of a hindrance, like it feels heavy. So whether that be maybe like watching too much news, or excess fast food consumption, maybe it's excess focus on just the negative in general, just your attention being drawn away outside of you, so that you are forgetting your own light. Pile one. So let's see what you can surrender from your path, what you can surrender to along your path to help you move forward. Okay, we have surrender to complete healing, open fully to the loving, compassionate forces of the universe that support your physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. Yeah, this is a complete healing process. It feels like once you realize what's been happening and where your whole energy has been going to, physically or spiritually, this is an easier shift than it may feel like. It feels more maybe daunting than it really is, because it is about just opening up to the love that you are worthy of. And that is the healing. I want to see if there's another surrender card for you, pile one. To see if there's anything else that Spirit wants to highlight. Okay, so we have surrender your desire to control people. Being over-controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. That's interesting because, again, in, focusing on others rather than yourself, you are actually hurting yourself. You are putting all your attention on people and situations outside of you, and it's hurting you. It's stripping you of your power. I mean, it's not that your power is actually leaving you, but you're not fueling it. You're not feeding your own soul when this happens. It feels like you are ready to shift your focus back on yourself. So pile 1, I'm going to pull a few tarot cards to give some context to this. To how this may play out in your life, to how you're being called to spring forward, to reinvent yourself. And the first thing I'm feeling is a question of, do you see yourself as the queen or king of your life? Do you feel that within? This card was sticking out. So here we have the Queen of Pentacles, the King of Chalices, and the Six of Swords. Yeah, so this is interesting. I do feel like for many of you, this is about relationships. This is about relationships between you and another person or multiple people. I do feel for you, it could be a romantic relationship that isn't healthy, or there's parts of it that aren't healthy. And it could be that the relationship itself isn't what's unhealthy, but it's maybe how it is seen by you or the other person, how it's understood, if that makes sense. Like there's some level of it that needs to be addressed. And maybe for some of you, it's jealousy. There's some sort of envy or an all-consuming feeling that's kind of suffocating the relationship in some way. And this could show up differently, so I don't want to get too specific because, again, this can show up in so many different ways. But between the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Chalices, I am feeling this is some sort of relationship that there's deep emotions here for this relationship, and it's very much affecting your daily life. I feel that with the Queen of Pentacles. This feels like an important relationship. And again, it's not that it's unhealthy necessarily. It could be for some, but the part that feels unhealthy is more of an internal thing, whether it's with you or with someone else in the relationship, but it's affecting how the relationship is playing out in some way, or even the perception. Because I feel like with some of you, it's more of the perception of what's happening, but maybe that's not the reality. And I do feel like for most people here, it's about releasing and doing the healing for yourself that lightens this up, that takes the pressure off of the relationship so you can feel more confident and powerful in this relationship. that you do have it all. You do have your will, your power, your sense of self, your self-worth, self-love, to kind of bring an equality into the situation. That there may be two distinct parts to this relationship, whether it's with one person or maybe it's a group of friends and you, but I'm getting the sense of there's maybe a shift from seeing yourself as maybe below the other person or people in this relationship, and you're bringing it forward. And I do feel like this is going to take some deep diving into your emotions to find more stability. For some of you, it could be kind of getting in touch with the inner child, or maybe finding something from your childhood that could be impacting this dynamic for you in your life now. But again, it's about realizing that you are the king, guiding your emotions and your feelings, that they're not controlling you, and it's safe to enter into this healing. And with the Six of Swords, it feels like you are shifting from a space of where there's a lot of anxiety around your feelings, that the feelings of jealousy or envy or needing more and more. That's stressful. It's all-consuming, and it makes things so much harder. It feels like that could push you to be, struggling to, again, control the situation, control other people. But it's that resistance, it's that struggle, that if that can be surrendered, it allows for more flow to come in. It allows for more of the healing. I do feel like for some of you, you just need that reminder to focus on yourself first, to focus on your healing, your wholeness first. And that lays a much stronger foundation emotionally, as well as in that day-to-day routine, in your physical life, where your thoughts, they ease up. You shift into a new perspective of this relationship that you have with, again, with this other person or people, or just generally in your life, in your interactions. There is a lightening up here, pile one. So I am going to pull some cards from the herbiary and the bestiary for what could help you in this healing journey as you are shifting I'm also feeling for some of you that this could be a call to focus on relationships where the other person is reflecting the truth of who you are and all that you bring to the table, rather than someone who's always focusing on like what's lacking, what's missing. And because the other person's going to help you fill your cup, and the other is just going to take and drain your cup. Okay, so we have spirit into matter, trillium. Yeah, this makes me think about the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Chalices, and how there's the kind of emotional or energetic side here that is ultimately feeding how it's showing up in the world, in your life, how you're seeing it here. So how you're feeling is what you're seeing. And I think for many of you, how you're feeling is what your thoughts are focused on. How you're feeling is how you're thinking, and that's affecting your reality. But what Spirit is saying is that what comes first is spirit. What comes first is the emotions. It's the energy that lays the foundation. And so in that sense, you, again, instead of trying to control other people or other situations outside of yourself, which you really have no control over ultimately, and it would just be stressful to focus on that, you can focus on yourself. You focus on your connection to yourself. You do that work, and that shifts everything forward in a very positive way. And in every way, emotionally, it feels like you are more secure, but that creates so much ease and flow and growth for you in your life, and you're able to kind of see so much more available to you. I had some cards fall out, but I had one actually flip over. So I'm going to take it. We have Slide into Joy, River Otter. Yeah, this is a huge shift for you, Pile 1, from something that is so, draining and frustrating and is causing feelings of lack or being not enough or not worthy. In just shifting to focus on your own healing and surrendering that desire to control other situations or other people, you are going to allow so much more joy and enthusiasm for life to flow in. More blessings, I am hearing. You are ready for this, Pile 1, and as we move from spring to summer, it's going to feel like you are a completely different person. So I want to go ahead and look at your final card. We have awareness, live in the moment, be conscious of your thoughts, look for signs and guidance. Yeah, so I will go ahead and pull the message from the book. But with awareness, yes, Spirit is saying all it takes is that shift in awareness of yourself, of your thoughts, of your feelings. The unicorns are calling you to live more fully in the present moment and be aware of the support you receive from your guides every day. Some of it is going unnoticed because your mind is keeping you distracted with worry, fear, or doubt. You are trying to solve a challenge from a conscious level when the best solution will come from handing it over to the divine. This beautiful unicorn is inviting you to take the time to slow down, sit quietly in contemplation or meditation, and allow your soul to take charge from your ego. Become aware of what your truth really is. All is well and everything is happening for a reason. Any situation can be resolved harmoniously, and there is a perfect solution for every challenge. This card is a reminder that all of your needs are met. You are safe, you are loved, and you are protected. Breathe into this awareness and choose to feel peaceful, calm, and relaxed. Trust in Source to take care of you, meet your needs, and show you your next steps. As you go about your day, be alert to any signs or messages that may be placed in your path. Stay in surrender and keep bringing yourself back into the present moment. For it is only here that you can ever feel truly at peace. That's beautiful, pile 1. Yeah, surrender to the flow. Be that otter that goes with the flow, that just easily slides in and out of the water. Being in the present moment, knowing that you are more than you realize in every way. You are more than you know, right? You are beyond conscious thought. There's so much more to your soul and your light. And it's your awareness of this that will shift things completely. So, pile 1, thank you so much for joining me today. I wish you all the best. I give you my love. But until next time, bye, pile 1. Hi, pile 2. If you chose the Angelite, this is your reading. So before we look at your final message, I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards to see what you are being called to surrender, what you're being called to surrender to. So the first card I am pulling for you is from the Dark Mirror Oracle, just to see what's been challenging you, what's been an obstacle for you, and what's ready to be released, to be surrendered, so that you can move forward with more ease, with more lightness in your life. Pile 2. Okay, so Queen of My World. Ooh, this is about hanging on to your power, your sense of worth, your drive, your confidence. So I'm feeling that you're being called to surrender anything that keeps you from feeling this in your life. Anything that stands in your way of who you truly are, any thoughts, any relationships that aren't, I feel like, respecting you in a way where it's equal. Because I feel like maybe for some of you it's been that other people don't really see you the way you deserve to be seen. I do feel like some of you are being called to be leaders. I'm getting that. There's some sense of leadership and the kind of confidence that comes with that role. And I wonder if you need to surrender some fear around that, because you're being called to clear the path forward, not just for yourself, but for others as well. And I feel like to some degree, anybody watching my videos are being called to that, but you maybe more so. So I just had surrender to the beauty of the natural world. Take a relaxing break and spend time in nature. Replenish yourself by feeling the beauty and the ecstasy there. Yeah, so with Queen of My World, that kind of makes sense, that you need to see yourself in this way first. That you need to see that you are a part of nature. You are part of the beauty of nature. There's some sort of like power in nature for you, that when you are out with the plants and the trees and the animals, you kind of feel the most yourself. You feel the most confident, the most secure. And I think Spirit is saying when you can kind of surrender and be in nature, it will help you embody more of your sense of self, more of your confidence, because it is there. Yes, pile 2. surrender to the magic of who you are. We all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with the uniqueness and worth that come from just being you. Yes, pile 2. This is about you showing up. And I feel that maybe there's some of you who feel that you aren't special enough, that you aren't magical enough, that you will, I feel like some of you feel like you would be in your ego if you showed up, if you put yourself out there. But what I'm feeling is, no, you're coming from a very grounded, in tune space with this natural world card. You're coming from a grounded, level-headed, very connected place. And you can have confidence in that you are connected in that way, and that you are not going to be forcing upon anyone else your ego. It's more about you're helping just clear the path forward for other people to show up too. But other people need you to show up. Because again, with like your uniqueness, your worth, your sense of the magic of the world and of yourself, you are able to clear the path forward in a way that other people need. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some tarot cards for some context, to see how this might show up for you. I just had the 10 of Wands. So we have the Lovers and we have the 10 of Wands, and I just want one more. Okay, we've got some big shifts, pile 2. So with the Lovers, and we have the Wheel of Fortune here. These are some big shifts, some life purpose, life path shifts for you. And I'm feeling a sense of a new foundation with the Lovers here. Maybe a partnership. Maybe some of you are looking for that partnership, and it feels like you need to show up in your power for this to come in. And that when you do show up fully accepting of who you are, this will come into place for you. But it almost feels like this needs to be accepted and brought forward in your belief system, in your belief in yourself, for this to unfold. But it will be a very stable, foundational partnership is what I'm feeling. But this could also just be like a new level, a new up-leveling for you, an expansion. So what I'm feeling is, for some of you, it could be like you actually are going to buy a house or something, but it could just be a very physical expansion, where as you step into your own power and confidence, everything in your life expands to bring in more abundance in every way, especially with a natural world card and nature, the abundance of nature. I'm feeling that energetically for you, pile 2. And again, with the Wheel of Fortune and the seasons here in this specific card deck, this is something that is naturally going to happen, that this season of abundance, we're springing forward, right, Things are blossoming and blooming, and they need the room to grow. They need the nurturing to grow. And I feel like this is a shift in yourself toward your own abundance. Because with the 10 of Wands, it feels like this maybe has been trying to come forward for a while, but in some way you were burdened with other things that were keeping you from having the room to explore this, pile 2. For some of you, it could be, some sort of project or career, or just, again, it's more of like that acceptance of yourself and your truth and showing up in that way that will just overall expand your world. But it's ready for you to surrender those wands. You've carried them long enough. Anything that has been a burden for you. And again, I'm getting the sense of breathing. It feels like this is a shift from where you have felt like you couldn't breathe in some way. But I'm getting the sense of fresh air. With nature, I'm just seeing kind of repeated nature standing out to me, pile 2. And whereas with the 10 of Wands and this depiction especially, there's a sense of like maybe claustrophobia or something, like the pushing in with the structure and the feeling weighed down as well. This just feels like you're able to expand. Your lungs expand. You take in the abundance around you. So spirit is saying you are ready for this, to breathe this in. And almost quite literally, it is that easy. Spirit is saying it's that easy to breathe this into your body, to breathe this into your energy, because it's already you. It's already natural to you. It's just kind of expanding that within yourself and out into the world. So I want to go ahead and pull some cards from the Herbiary deck and the Bestiary deck. Just want one from each. Okay, this one flipped over. So we have the Ways of Water, White Willow. Yeah, so we have a sense of flexibility, the flow of water, the ease of water. And that this may be something that is requiring you to be more flexible, more in flow with life than maybe you are used to. And again, I'm feeling like there's rigidity with the 10 of Wands, and Spirit is asking you to expand and release and be more in tune with the flow of things. And so with willow growing in the water, it is extremely flexible, and it feels like that's what you're being called to kind of embody, to allow that nourishing water to fill you up, the nourishing emotions and feelings, the feeling of being this magical person you are. Let's see what the Bestiary has. We have Listen for Spirit, Barn Owl. Yeah, you are this magical being. You are able to hear spirit. And I feel like especially when you are in touch with nature, when you are in those moments of calm and surrendering to the release of the chaos and stress and both burdens and restrictions, any limitations that have been put around you that aren't you, when you are able to surrender and expand and bend in new ways, you are able to hear spirit. You are able to hear your spirit, to be in tune with your heart. And this is your place of deepest wisdom and leadership, confidence in your leadership. And it's going to come from your heart and not your head, is what I'm feeling. So again, I feel Spirit is asking you not to worry about whether you are knowledgeable enough, because this is something that's coming from so much deeper than just like surface level knowledge, if that makes sense. It's coming from your roots. You know, I think Spirit is asking you to again, to do some grounding, to be in nature, to send your roots down, or be aware of your roots that are there in the ground, because I feel like you are in tune with nature. It's about turning your attention there, pulling in that power of the natural world that highlights your own magic, that connects you to spirit, to your intuition, to your heart. And your heart will guide you. Again, that red, it's your confidence. It's where it lies, is within your heart and not your head. Your head may be beautiful, your mind may be beautiful, and you may be very knowledgeable, but I just feel like pile 2, the emphasis should be on your heart, because I feel like for some of you, your mind may, lie to you about who it is that you are. And I just feel like you're ready to kind of break free from that burden. So let's see what the final message is for you from the Oracle of the Unicorns. We have innocence. Take time to play, nurture your inner child, live with a childlike sense of wonder. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so I feel like in some ways, maybe that's what Spirit is saying you need to find when you get back to nature. When you're out in nature, you reconnect with that sense of wonder, and playfulness that children have, that kind of imagination. So let's see. Innocence. Your inner child is the innocent aspect of yourself that still believes in magic and miracles without question. This inner child can be your greatest ally in creating your dreams, but only when he or she feels loved, safe, and is given permission to play. When your inner child is hurt, scared, or neglected, he or she can create sabotage, procrastination, or hold you back from achieving greater things in your life. This gentle unicorn mother and her sweet baby encourage you to pay attention to the child within and give him or her plenty of love, healing, and nurturing. Let them know it is safe to play. Put them in charge of engaging with the fun and magic in your life. If you suffered childhood abuse, bullying, or any other trauma, this card may be a message to seek out deep healing for those wounds so you can move on with your life. It may be a call to live in more innocence by seeing the good in people and believing life is magical. Call on the baby unicorns to help you honor and love your inner child, to reclaim your innocence, and to spend more time living in wonder. Miracles will happen when you do. Yeah, so again, like what I was feeling, Spirit was trying to say is that it's about you getting in touch with your heart, with your passions, with your imagination, with that inner child, and the magic of who you are, what maybe you used to be attuned to in every way, to shed the kind of burden that's been placed on you to maybe feel like enough that you are kind of logical in that way, or that again, that worry that you are going to be in your ego rather than your intuitive, magical, spiritually aware side, or part of you, I should say. You are coming from this place of innocence and wonder and purity, and it's easy here from this place. It's a matter of just allowing it. Pile 2. I hope that you see how magical you are, that you get in touch with that power that lies within the childlike perspective, or what would feel maybe childlike, what would be disregarded before: the imagination, the connection to nature, the passion, the dreams that maybe people told you weren't possible when you were young and maybe were abandoned. Well, that magic is still within you because you are the magic. And I hope that you can heal that part of yourself that thinks that you weren't worthy of this role, that you hear the call that Spirit is putting out there for you. Again, listen for Spirit, because that call from Spirit is the call of your heart. I do feel this. And that ultimately it is the most natural thing for you, and that it will feel easy to let this back into your world. Pile 2. So I hope this was helpful for you in some way. I thank you for being here, and I wish you all the best. I give you my love, but until next time, bye, Pile 2. Hello, Pile 3. If you chose the yellow or orange calcite, this is your reading. So this will be the final message. I'm going to set it aside, and we're going to start with a card from the Dark Mirror Oracle to see what's been challenging you, what's been maybe an obstacle or a block for you that is part of what needs to be released or surrendered to spring forward, to move with more ease on your path. Whether that be your spiritual path, your healing journey, your life overall, what is going to help you move forward? Okay, Masquerade. It is so interesting because each pile, I feel like they have been cards that I've pulled before. So maybe these are still things that we need to work on. So let's see. The sense I'm getting from Masquerade is the hiding of the true self, the hiding of the authentic self. I'm feeling like there's even like societal world things, expectations that have been put on you and that you feel like you've had to carry around. I feel like you've had to hide your true feelings, your true sense of who you are. And so Pile 3, I feel like you're being called to surrender the masquerade, to break through that facade that has been built up upon you, or that has been built by you, maybe to protect yourself. I feel like for some of you, it's probably been there a while, and maybe even from childhood, or from a time where you felt more vulnerable, maybe early adulthood, and it was protective at first, but now it's more of a block. It's more of a hindrance. And I'm getting the sense of like a mask that's blocking part of your vision of who you are. And Spirit wants you to be able to see yourself more clearly, and that you don't need a masquerade anymore. So I want to pull some cards from the Power of Surrender card deck. Okay, so we actually had 2 fall out. I guess I'm going to take it. Okay, so that's interesting. We had surrender to the magic of who you are in pile 2 as well. We all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with a uniqueness and worth that come from just being you. But it makes sense, pile 3, for you because you had masquerade. And this fell out on top, so it may be that this is what needs to happen first for you to access the magic of who you are. So surrender resentments. Holding on to resentments only poisons you. Try to forgive others for their shortcomings and keep moving forward toward positive situations in your life. So the surrender resentments, maybe that is connected to the facade or the things that have been put on you or that you've put on yourself. And it could have been because you were trying to protect yourself from situations or people that were toxic or harming you in some way. But now it's time to shed not only this kind of limitation that's been put on you, but it's time to shed the resentments, to work through them, to work through forgiveness. And that's a tough one because there may be situations and relationships where it wouldn't be healthy to completely forgive, forgive and forget. But there's that part of forgiveness that's connected to you, and that's kind of what this card is pointing at, that resentment only poisons you, right? So to release or surrender the part that is harming you is what needs to be done. We can learn from our past experiences and relationships and do forgiveness work, release resentments without sacrificing what we've learned from these tricky, troublesome parts of our lives that we've had to grow from. So it's more about, again, just being able to move forward with your magical self, your awareness of your magical self here, pile 3. And I want to go ahead and pull some tarot cards to see what the context is of this, to give more clarity for you as you move forward. Yeah, so I'm getting an image of a flower trying to bloom and grow, and the kind of strangulation that other vines and roots have on you, and it just feels like there's some work to be done in emotionally healing from this so that you aren't stifling yourself, so that you are able to fully expand and blossom into who you are. Wow, that flew out. Okay, so far we have the 2 of Cups. We have the 8 of Pentacles. So this is interesting. I'm feeling like this could be, with the 2 of Cups, a connection to another person, that there is some healing in a relationship where you can show up as yourself, where someone else can finally see you for who you are, that it's a healthier relationship, that there's more flow here. Okay, and we have the Ace of Wands as well. So, overall, it feels like there's more passion here when you can be in tune with who you truly are, where you can embody who you truly are, and make true connection with other people with the Two of Chalices. It's healing when you can show up and be recognized in another person. And so maybe some of you are hoping for that type of connection, and I feel like you need to be able to shed this so that you can show up and speak your truth, to communicate with other people what you need, what you desire. Because emotionally, in some way, you've been stifled or cut off, and this is something that's going to be very healing for you, pile 3, and moving forward. And I feel like it's setting a foundation when you have this relationship with yourself and others from an authentic place, that you are inspired to show up and do the work. It's going to happen. You're going to be putting in effort somewhere, but it's going to be fulfilling, and it's going to be a bit rocky at first. You know, this person has been working hard to kind of achieve a higher level of skill in this work. So there is some recognition of, you got to start somewhere. And it may not look the way you want it to look at first, and that's okay. And I feel like this could be connected to who you feel you are, and getting in touch with that. It could be a bit of a maze or something, like, but it's okay. Like, it's just the process. And I feel like there is some sense of, even though it is work, it is enjoyable. It is something where you're being called to allow your passion to come through, your inspiration to come through. Like, what is fun for you? What sparks joy, right? And so with the Ace of Wands too, like there's some new spark here. And you have a balance of energies with the chalices, the pentacles, the wands. I do feel like with that Ace of Wands, there's some call to burn away the old facade. Like, maybe you need to light a candle in ritual and recognition of sparking into life the new you. Because with each of these, I'm feeling there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of passion and drive in that connection between you and your work, between you and other people, between you and your connection to who you are. There's this emphasis on energy here. And I'm even getting the feeling of, with the water, with the earth, with the fire, with the air, with the umbrella being like kind of torn into the air and the breeze taking it. There's power here. I think that's what it is. There's like this natural force that you are, allowing it to kind of rip through and clean the slate in a way. I'm going to pull a couple cards from one from the Herbiary deck and one from the Bestiary deck. Oh, okay. So we have exuberant quietude, passion flower, again with passion and direction. And this would it would require you to be in touch with yourself, which can come from moments of quietude, of meditation, of tapping in, being with your own thoughts and feelings, allowing them to bubble up, but within this, there is exuberance. There is passion and joy and desire and just willpower. I mean, there's a lot of energy here, pile 3. So in doing this work, again, it may take some time for you to navigate this and to develop your sense of what this is and who you are and what you're being called to, but it's okay, because you are getting in touch with your authentic self and how you are showing up. So we had sync with the cycles, black bear, it just flew out. So yeah, there's the ebb and flow, and I'm sorry if y'all hear my stomach growling. So sync with the cycles, black bear. Yeah, there's the ebb and flow. There's the phases of the moon, and there's times of, quiet and hibernation and being still. And then there's times of going out and foraging and finding your way to what's calling to you to nourish yourself, to expand right into spring when bears emerge and are looking for food and relationships, connections. So pile 3, there's a lot here. And I feel like this is a very exciting time for you as you dive into essentially yourself. I feel like you're diving into yourself and what you're being called to connect with, whether it's energetically or in your career with other people. Let's go ahead and look at your final message. I don't think my stomach is going to last very long at this point. So we have delight. Count your blessings and enjoy life. Take pleasure in simple things. Always expect the best. Yes, so there is so much delight here. As you shed the facade and the masquerade of hiding yourself, there is so much joy and happiness and lightness available to you, pile 3. So let's go ahead and I'll read from the book. If your card would stay in place. Again, there's that sense of you, maybe it's you being on the breeze, setting that wish into motion to bring delight into your life. As you release like the umbrella that blocks you, that would block your crown chakra, right? To connect to your higher self, to the divine. When you shed that, you can kind of become like the seeds of the dandelion on the wind and flow on the breeze toward new heights is what I'm feeling. But I will go ahead and read from the book. I was just seeing that connection with the umbrella again. So I want to make sure that I get all the messages that Spirit's trying to bring through for you, pile 3. This playful fairy pony has danced into your day to encourage you to glide through life on a slipstream of joy and to approach this situation with a sense of fun and play. She invites you to trust that all will be well and know that feelings of peace, joy, and gratitude will help solve this issue in your life a lot faster than worrying about it will. You may have been told that life is tough, or learned that worrying is essential to solving problems. You have been programmed that hard work alone leads to success, or that it requires effort and sacrifice to earn money. But what if you could choose a new reality? This very pony is reminding you that the universe wants you to be happy, and that when you wholeheartedly expect positive outcomes, you will receive them. Start today by slowing down and taking deliberate pleasure in even the simplest of things. Count your blessings and feel gratitude for everything you already have, no matter how small it may seem to you. Let the sun warm your skin, enjoy the blue of the sky and the softness of the breeze. Sit under a tree, lie on the grass, stop to smell the flowers. Dance, laugh, love, and play your way through life, and trust that the universe will give you more reasons to be happy when you do so. When you believe, feel, and act as if all is well, and live in positive expectation, this situation will resolve easily. More blessings will flow to you and fill you with delight. Yeah, pile 3. Again, you're being called to shed the programming, the things that have been put upon you or that were put there through the influence of others that have stifled you in some way or prevented you from seeing this kind of magical aspect of yourself, one that is abundant and able to live passionately and really experience all of life in every way, all the elements, all the feelings, the sensations, right? The very visceral way that you can move through life and experience again the sun on your skin, the blue of the sky, the feel of the breeze. All of this, I feel like you're just meant to expand into this, and your reading is kind of similar to pile 2. So if you were torn between pile 2 and pile 3, then you may want to check out pile 2. But this feels like kind of getting more in tune with yourself and kind of the ebb and flow and the cycles that are here. And you're being called to release what holds you back from this and to move forward in a way where it's more in alignment with your truth, how you are going to show up and be in your abundance. You're meant to be magical and to show up as that magical self, to create a life that's in alignment with that. It just feels like you're meant to be your unique self as you show up. You're doing the work now to get in touch with that. So that's beautiful, pile 3. I hope that this reading has been helpful for you in some way. I thank you for being here. I wish you all the best. I give you my love, but until next time, bye, pile 3.